Happy New Year, everyone, from all of us at ACEware. We hope you had a wonderful holiday with your family and friends, and hopefully you had an opportunity to pamper yourself a bit too with some much deserved R&R before you head back into the busyness of the year. We had our annual staff retreat last week, and during that time together, we took a look at the 2017 census results. And we'd like to thank you again for taking the time to complete that for us. We've gained a lot of information and insights into how we can continue to improve our services for you. If you didn't get the chance to complete this, we still welcome your input. So if you've lost that link or you don't think you saw it, drop me a line and we'll get that to you. And perhaps we'll even have another drawing to give away a few more pizza parties. What do you think, Chuck? He's thinking
Sounds
about it
good.
over here. I'm here today with Chuck and Matthew and Stein, and Matthew's going to show you a few new goodies in Student Manager 59. And Stein is going to give you a preview of what he calls some nifty new things in ACEweb that will get released in 48 just as soon as possible. So as I turn these controls over to Matthew, I want to remind you that you can drop me a note or a comment or a question in the chat box, and I can get those out to Matthew or Stein or Chuck. So I guess, Matthew, you should have controls by now, so I'm just going to turn things right over to you.
Sounds good. You guys seeing my screen?
We are seeing your screen. Thank you.
Okay, good. The first thing I wanted to go through, we've had a little bit of an update with update counts. It still checks the number of courses taken for names and course enrollment count, but the new part is waitlist count. We've been finding, for some weird reason, waitlist counts have been getting off at some sites, so we've now changed that, the update counts to now include that. So this is going to run just a little bit slower, and whatnot. Hold on, my shouldn't be that much slower because you shouldn't have as many waitlisted registrations as you've got other things. So not too big of a deal. I've had a request come in here to resize my resolution if I can. That's not where I want to be.
You wanted that first one, change your display, I think, rather than the second one there. There you go.
Let's just turn it down a little here. All right. How's that?
That'll be better.
Okay. So next thing, and I think this will be a bigger item for most of you, and I've got Jenny Call set up with this. For AW pending payments, got it in here to now show the authorization number just for AW pending payments that are voided. I've got another payment in here that is voided but isn't an AW pending. This was just a mistake. I accidentally chose check instead of credit card, so I just voided this payment record. So it doesn't show the AW pending. And I'm going to actually show you, once you delete the AW pending out of here and tab out, so I can say, actually, as soon as I tab out, it's gone. So if I want to see it back again, I got to undo. Yes, I want to undo my changes. Or if yes, this is what I'm meaning to do, save it, and you're not going to worry about it ever again. So that's the new thing with payment records. next thing is with the new. There's a new way to do mapping. We're still utilizing Bing Maps, but you do have to go out and register for a license key. And this is from what I understand, is a site-wide license, and it's free, and I think you get like 120,000 accesses to the Bing Map API with this for free. So it's not going to cost you anything to get a license, but you do need to get it and put it in your preferences down here. And then the mapping tool you run just like you normally do. I've got mine set up in mailing labels. Additional reports, okay. I'm just going to run all names for now because I've got on my map report the zip radius tool. So I'm going to just grab 25 miles around Manhattan, Kansas. I've got a nice, concise map instead of things all over the place. So I'm going to get all these names on my map. Close the preview. I want to map the name addresses. It's creating my map and should be firing my browser here in just a second. It went on my other screen. Let me bring it over here. And my Google Hangouts is now trying to run because I'm running Chrome. Okay. There's my map. So it does try to center on the last, or no, the first address that it comes to, which was Teresa Alexander in my list. So you do have to kind of move things around a little bit. Notice if you've got multiple people at the same address, I've got Chuck and Jason both at the cabin address. And actually I've got other records at that same address, but it's only going to show me 2 names because the other names there's not enough room for. But it's showing me just 1 push pin. I can zoom in more on this. You've got so Tuttle Creek Lake is back over here. That's roughly where the cabin is. And actually, if I want to switch to the what do we got? Is it the birds? The aerial? Yeah, here's the satellite view. If I want to look at the satellite, so we could see where Jason Allen's name is actually where the cabin sits, not where the push pin is, but close enough. It's Microsoft. What do you expect? Let me change it back to road because that seems to go faster. But with one of the great advantages of having this in the browser now is that you can print. Control P, your regular, or file and print wherever that is on your browser. That will print off the map for you now. The old mapping tool, we couldn't do that. Also, this seems to be a lot less kludgy than the old one. At least that's my opinion on playing with it so far. So
Matthew, could you do us a favor?
Yeah.
Could you kind of walk us through where you got, did you call it a key? Did you call it in Bing, where they get that, how they sign up for it, where they put that key information?
Yes. Google. Now that's actually, let me just Bing map key. See what I can find. Actually, it probably was one of those links that I set. So getting a Bing Maps key It came right up when I Googled it. Go to the maps. Yeah, so you got to go to this portal, bingmapsportal.com, and I believe there's. Well, I could sign in because I've got it, but where's the sign up? Maybe. Oh, it does say or create a new one. No account, create one. So if you don't have a Microsoft account or whatnot, you would create one here. Mine's just under Matthew at ACEware. ACEware.com. Hopefully this is the right password and not my other. Yes. Okay, so once you get in here, my account, my keys, I believe you just go in and create a key. I've already got one key on here, so it's got in here. Also, this has the usage, also copy keys, a nice thing, because this is a big, long thing to put in your into Student Manager's preferences, but although I believe from Chrome it doesn't work as well as it does from IE or Firefox. But anyway, so in here is where you create a new key, get it, put it into Student Manager. And then it gives you that usage report to show how close you're getting to that 120,000 names. I've only used 114 or 116 so far. So I'm quite a ways away from it, and I've played with this a lot. So yeah, it'll take a while to get there. And this is each and every name that gets mapped is what counts towards that 120,000 limit. So so don't be mapping the entire world, or you will start getting charges from Bing into your account. But anyway, quick go through that. If anybody needs specific instructions on what to do with that, I can get those ready. I think we're putting those in help, but I could be wrong. I'll double check with Cheryl on that. All right, any other questions over mapping before I move on?
Not that I'm seeing. Thank you.
All right, next thing is with the new zapping tool that we put out last fall. There is now a option for doing escrow. I think that's with the payment date. Clears. Oh, you put in asterisk escrow asterisk fee adjustment description webinar payment date between. Actually, I'm just going to put all payments before July 1 of last year. Those are going to get absorbed into the regular fund, so I no longer want escrows for those. So let me hit OK. Escrow fee adjustment. Yes, okay. Whoa. What did I do wrong? Find course. Oh, it's asterisk escrow. That's what I did wrong. Escrow. Webinar. Before July 1, 2017. Okay. Okay. There, created one fee adjustment. So if I go look at my escrow course now, find course, escrow, add edit regis, should be my Curtis Martin record here. So what has happened is for the escrow course, it is just voiding out the escrow payment. This is the only time the ZAP charge utility does anything with payments is on the escrow course. So it does void the escrow, so it can't be utilized anymore. I do believe we put in somewhere, if I put this back to cash, oh no, the amount is just the amount of the void. Never mind. Undo. I was going to say I thought we notated the amount somewhere else, but it's just it leaves the payment amount because we're just voiding it. So it can be given back to the student if you need to. Just unvoid the payment. Pay type, I couldn't get the where it says cash, check, or whatever, but it gives the payment number equivalent. 1 for cash, 2 for check, 4 for Visa, so on and so forth. You can look up those numbers and help if you don't know those off the top of your head. And so yeah, feel like I'm missing. Oh yeah. Next thing is with location. Find location. I don't know which one I've been messing with. So on the additional info tab of the location is a new field called location max. And by default, it should be set to all 9s because I'm assuming a unrealistic number as a default. So if I lower this, let's say the headquarters, we can only fit 10 people. Save this, get out of it. Now if I go to a course, I don't care which one. So I've got a max on this course of 100. Well, I'm putting this into the ACEware headquarters, and notice it comes up with a pop-up. The current course maximum is 100, but the location maximum is 10. Do you wish to lower the course maximum? Well, yeah, of course. I can't book more than 10 people in ACEware headquarters, so yes, I'm wanting to do that. So say yes, and then it comes up with the normal questions about updating the location on room use and so on and so forth. So, and it dropped the max down to 10, so it's exactly what I wanted it to do. The other thing, max, CollegeNet export. Actually, this isn't really the export. We have had the utility import export CollegeNet export. This kind of supersedes that. So it needs some setup. If you've got CollegeNet, you need to put in your base URL from your CollegeNet setup. Now, from what I understand, this base URL is unique to every single installation, although this looks pretty generic to me when I grabbed it. But anyway, get the URL from your settings, put in your username and password. Now this is for Resource 25 or 25 Live or the other room scheduling products that CollegeNet has. It doesn't matter which one you're using. This should work for all of those. So once you've got your settings in place, if I go look at what's a course. So I've got a couple sessions here. On the room use button, there's a new I don't know. I'm hesitant to call it an export because it's not just an export. It's loading it into your CollegeNet directly. So if I hit CN export, should just take a second or two and come back with event successfully uploaded. So that just put it out into my developer 25 Live account or CollegeNet account. These two room use records. So those of you using CollegeNet, this should hopefully be a lot easier than downloading VCal files or the new CSV file and uploading that on however often you need to do it. You can just come in to here and upload it directly from your room use button into CollegeNet. So I think I'm done. That's all I got on my list.
Thank you, Matthew. I'm loving that location change that changes your maximum numbers in the course as well. Loving that. Chuck, did you have anything to add before we turn things over to Stein here?
Nope, we're good.
All right. Stein, I'm going to turn this over to you so that you can show us what's coming in ACEware. And Matthew, I have a question while we're turning this over to him. Where did you enter the Resource 25 settings again? Can you repeat that, where it is in Manager?
Yeah, under Tools, Database Admin, hold on. Oh, you guys aren't seeing my screen anyway, but Tools, Database Admin, CollegeNet Settings. It's right underneath email and SMS settings. So right in there with
Perfect. That gave the answer we needed. So Stein, we are seeing you now, so you can share the nifty new things coming in ACEware.
Well, I think it's singular, or it's a lot of the there's a number of small changes to version 48, but a lot of them are behind the scenes kind of things, fixing little bugs and making things more efficient and so forth, which we always try to keep doing. Is everybody seeing? Are you seeing my screen with the administrative logon?
Yes, we are.
Okay. This is the Manager Web feature, which we added a few versions back, and we've continued to kind of extend it. This allows a student manager staff person to log in to ACEware and carry out certain things that the regular web user would not be able to do, but that may prove handy for a staff user, especially if that staff user is off-site and doesn't have access to their desktop version of Student Manager. There are a few things that you can do by going in through the web using the ACEware interface. So the feature is called Manager Web, and the portal page is managerweb.awp, and you'll initially get a login asking for your student manager user credentials. Not if you've set up a regular ACEware account, or if you have a regular name account, those people won't see this. But if you have your student manager staff, I have an account with an ID of Z because it's easy to type. So and the name is Zippy. So I think we've demonstrated some of this other stuff before, that you can look up students and actually register on behalf of a student and so forth. But the new thing for 048 is instructor access. And basically, this gets you to the instructor page, the page that, if you have an instructor account, you can log in and you can get class rosters and so forth. And we did have a feature called Super Instructor that would enable an instructor to you to set up a super instructor who could then actually view other instructors' information and courses. And what the Manager Web extension does is basically give a student manager staff user that special super instructor privilege. And so you don't have to go now setting up a super instructor for a staff member to use. You can just log in with a staff member account. And if they have high enough ACEware ranking, they can get into here. I forget what exactly it is, but you can by setting their access level, determine which of your staff can do this. So it may not be something you'll want to give everybody, but anyway, if you have that ability, you can get in. This is the instructor page. You're not seeing any courses because your staff member, of course, isn't an actual instructor, but you can use this, show selected courses for all instructors. And then if we actually, let's just sort this by, just so we don't have so many to deal with, we'll just look at all the courses starting with A. We'll click Get Courses, and we'll have, here are all the courses for all instructors that have the title that begins with A. And you can see that you can get the various instructor options here. You can list rosters. You actually, it looks like you can track attendance, but we haven't quite got that piece working yet. But you can bring up the grade book on behalf of an instructor. So if you had a situation where an instructor didn't feel, wasn't able or didn't feel comfortable putting in grades, but they, maybe they emailed you a list of the grades and wanted you to enter them, then you could go through this interface and bring up the grade book. This particular, I think, course wasn't actually set up to enter grades, so and here's coming back in. It looks like we lost our filter, so we're actually looking at all the courses. So let me go back here to look at the filtered course. As I said, you can get roster lists, course notes, course description. I wonder if nobody's currently registered in this course.
That was an empty course.
Yeah.
No enrollment. Yeah, you got to pick one.
Thank you.
One with some students.
Yeah, here's one, students. It was quite obvious. There you go. So here's your class roster. You can print the roster, save it to Excel, just the way any instructor could when they come in here. So through the instructor page. So again, I think Cheryl was mentioning this, or that when you go back to the listing, you end up with the full list. We need to kind of figure out a way to make this work a little bit better. The interface is intended for a single instructor, and all of a sudden we're looking at all of them, so you need a little better, easier way to filter it. But it does give the staff user a way to get in to do what the super instructor used to be able, and still can do, but now you don't have to set up a super instructor course. So see, if you do want to filter, you have to go down to the bottom and put that filter back in. Actually, so that is the primary change that, or easily visible change that's coming in with the new, with 048. And as Sharon indicated, it isn't officially released yet. We're still in the last phases of testing, but it will be out within a day or two, I hope, at least first of next week at the latest. So any questions or feedback?
I'm not seeing any questions. I think they're just absorbing this more and more that they can do from offsite via ACEware, looking at classes, assigning grades, printing rosters, things like that. Chuck, did you have anything to add to that?
Nope, we're good. I'm excited.
And they may have questions that pop up later as they're thinking about this, and you can always just shoot us an email, a suggestion, your wish list items on this. That would be great. So Stein, I think I'll take back controls here. Maybe.
Do I have to do anything? There you go.
So we are going to share that we have a webinar coming up that you probably saw from the listserv today, that the first kind of educational training webinar. We're going to go back and review our online reference guide. We saw some great things in the census and from Google Analytics about how much this is used, but we also saw a few questions, and there were lots of new things put into the online reference guide in 2017. And so we want to show you some tips and tricks on using our online reference guide to work the best for you. That is on the 25th at 2:00 p.m. You can register online, or you can go to the email we sent today and click on the link there and register from there. And we want to remind you we are getting ready to open registration for our 22nd annual conference in the Atlanta area this June. So keep that date saved on your calendar, and you might want to bookmark this site so you can stay up to date on the latest and greatest information coming about conference. Other announcements, just a reminder that we will be closed on Monday for Martin Luther King, the observance of that special day. And, you know, if there is an emergency, I'm curious to know if any of you are working at all on that day. But if there's an emergency, you can always call our 800 number and listen to the menu there and find our on-duty technician. So I guess before I close, I am seeing a question here real quick. Online instructor access. Has the attendance roster format been updated to look like the regular printed attendance roster? Attendance roster format been updated?
Well, the dilemma, and I'll chip down on that, the regular attendance roster, depending on how you've modified it, it's kind of hard to know what the original is. But Stein, I don't know. I think you might respond. The way it is now, it's the same old as far as the online one, isn't it?
Right. Whatever online attendance roster
has been
that we've been would not have changed. It's just that now staff can access it. So I don't know. About we did have a question about allowing sign in and sign out option on the attendance roster, and I think Cheryl's done some work on doing a customized version of that, but the standard version is going to be the same as it always was.
For right now, it's still the same. Yeah. Anything else, Sharon?
I am not seeing anything else at this time, so we will let folks get back to business, and we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Bye-bye.